Hello and welcome. You're watching Nigeria Decides on TV 360 Nigeria. And it's a big day for people of the country. As you know, residents and, of course, Nigerians have gathered to vote in new governors and, of course, state House of Assembly representatives. And current former president of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari and Olusegun Obasanjo, and of course Goodluck Jonathan, have cast their votes in the ongoing governorship and state House of Assembly elections in the country. President Buhari was the first to vote among the trio, arriving his polling unit in Daura in Katsina State as early as 8 a.m. Obasanjo, on the other hand, voted at Abeokuta, Ogun State at about 12 noon, while Goodluck Jonathan expressed his franchise in Otueke, Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa. In the same vein, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has cast his vote at the polling unit in Victoria Garden City in Lekki. Meanwhile, state governors across the country have also been expressing their franchise. In Bauchi State, Governor Mohammed Abubakar came out to cast his vote in company of his wives, while in Benue State, Governor Abubakar Bello expressed his franchise in his hometown in Kontagora. In the southeast, Governor Odom Emmanuel and his wife Martha cast their votes at one of the polling units in Akwa Ibom State, while Bayelsa State Governor Seraki Dixon voted in polling units at Ward 2, Unit 5 in Toru Orua in Sagbama local government areas. Now, still in the southeast, Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Owani actively participated in the election, casting his vote at Ambwe 1 in Oruba in Udenu local government area of the state. While speaking to journalists after voting, he commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for its prompt operations at his polling units. Let's now cross over to the northern part of Nigeria in Kaduna, where the state governor, Nasiru El-Rufai, has commended INEC for a job well done. El-Rufai, speaking to journalists after casting his vote, said the conduct of the polls is an improvement compared to previous ones, especially the February 23rd presidential election.
INEC arrangement, the logistical arrangements are much better. They have improved significantly. I want to commend and congratulate INEC for the excellent work done so far. And the reports I'm getting from across the state in all our 5,000 plus polling units is that the arrangements are similar. Logistics have improved, materials are on time, and there are no major issues with the card reader all across the state. Secondly, the security arrangements have also improved. In this polling unit alone, I can see 5 to 6 uniformed personnel, police, immigration, customs, and the prison service. And this is very helpful in making people feel safe and secure to come out and vote. Initially, the voter turnout was discouraging when I came in, but by the time I joined the queue, the queue had lengthened and more people are trooping out to vote. This is also very encouraging. I am confident that from the look of things, we will match or even surpass the voter turnout of 2 weeks ago. So by the grace of God, so far, elections have been peaceful, arrangements have been much improved, and security much enhanced. So I am confident that everything will work out well, not only in this polling unit, but all across the state by the grace of God.
Let's now join our correspondent in Kaduna State, Joseph Peter, for a situation report on the voting process. Thanks for joining us, Peter. Yes, how is the elections going on in Kaduna State at the moment?
Well, Kaduna State, election in Kaduna State is peaceful, but seriously, Kaduna State experienced low turnout of voters. And so many people, so many voters say that their vote last time didn't count, so they didn't come out to vote this time around, because they say that even if they come out to vote, it's what they decide to do that they will do. So the turnout in Kaduna State is very low, very, very low.
You're basically saying that voter turnout is low. We've seen that also in Lagos. How about the security situation? Is it as calm as we have in Lagos at the moment?
Yeah, Kaduna State has experienced the situation in Kaduna State is very calm. Security-wise, Kaduna State is calm. No any challenge, no no any election violence, no. The situation is calm, very, very calm. It's just that the voters don't really turn out to vote. That's just a challenge here.
So, from interviews you might have conducted, do you see people in favor of El Rufai? I mean, in an interview he conducted today, he stated that he was not under tension over the election and that he's confident of victory. But do you see that being a possibility in Kaduna State?
Well, the truth is that sorry, let me take it from the INEC side. The INEC officials actually came out on time. Some of them started at 8. Some of them are there before 8 o'clock. But by 8, many of them have started. So it's a little bit different from what you have last time, where you have the INEC officials coming to voting center or polling unit at 10 o'clock, sometimes some of them 12 o'clock. But this one, they actually started on time. And so many people that come out early were able to go through the accreditation and they cast their vote.
All right, that's the voice of Joseph Peter reporting live from Kaduna State. Moving on, we see that electorates have been reeling out reactions from the conduct of the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state where gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections are taking place. Our cases of late commencement of voting exercise is yet again witnessed in some polling units. And Adeshawa Odushoga files in this report.
Much anticipated March 9 governorship and State House of Assembly elections is finally here. Electorates from different states across the country have been exercising their franchise, deciding their next governor and representatives of the State Assembly. Just like it occurred in the last presidential and national assembly elections, there was yet another delay in the commencement of voting exercise in some polling units in southwest Lagos State. Some of the electorates expressed their displeasure in the conduct of the polls.
They are saying trying to fix one or two things because they have some issue of payment of the corpers, the workers. That is why up till now we've not started in GRA Center here, the Onibombo Center. I've been here since around 6:30. Nothing done up till now. So that's why we're still waiting, hoping maybe they will start very soon. But they are setting their centers. You can see all the centers, they are trying to fix them up. So that's what we are still waiting for.
No, I've not seen none of them. I've not seen nobody. I've been standing here for like 2 hours for now. I haven't seen anyone. We are just looking. In fact, I'm telling you that I'm so tired. So tired. I'm so fed up. Yeah, like previous elections and the people, they came earlier and before they start arranging and all of that. I think it takes more than like 2 hours as well. I think 9:30 that started last time presidential election.
Elsewhere in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, electorates have expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Today, honestly, they really impressed us because I was expecting it to be like the other time. They came around 11 o'clock, but they were here before 8. So they really performed excellently this time.
Amidst these commendations, the electorate, however, decried low voter turnout compared to the presidential elections in the state.
The number of people that were here were more than what I'm seeing here, but still the same. People still turn out massively, but compared to the last presidential election, people were more than this. So I believe it must in one way or the other.
Another electorate in the state condemns the cancellation of vote in some polling units in the previous elections.
This idea of cancelling votes is going to affect Nigeria. It's going to have a very negative, because who has the right to cancel votes? Anybody can cook up anything and then say, okay, and then write anything, and then the votes will be cancelled. What I want is that before votes are cancelled, at least all the political parties should be contacted there. Everybody should say that, yes, these votes are going to be cancelled, and we are aware that there was trouble there. We are aware that there was pandemonium. We are aware that, yes, people did what was wrong.
The presidential and national assembly elections was marred with electoral violence, late commencement of voting exercise, vote buying, and low turnout. The electoral body, ahead of the gubernatorial elections, promised to check these loopholes, but it appears these vices are reoccurring. Adeshewa Dushoga, TV316, Nigeria.
National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also been reacting to the conduct of the election in the state. At Alausa Ikeja, Tinubu addressed journalists after casting his votes for his choice candidate. And speaking to TV360 Nigeria, Tinubu described the electoral process as smooth, even though voting commenced late in many polling units in Lagos. Tinubu also mentioned the achievement of the APC government and expressed confidence of their victory in the polls.
The security officers have done very well. The INEC has started very well. They got materials to various local governments early enough, and they've logistically they have well prepared. Why their staff arrived late in some areas is what I cannot explain, because I'm restricted to telephone and my location. I can only take it from various. In terms of security, Lagos has always been ready to celebrate democracy. It's still violent free. We are going to win. Yes. We are the only party in Lagos. The rest are repeated stations. They come every 4 years and they go back in again like crabs.
Meanwhile, the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has expressed confidence that he will emerge the next governor of Lagos State. Sanwo-Olu said this after casting his vote at the Lateef Jakonde Femo Okomu polling unit in Lagos State.
It's still early. It's just to begin to use information like this and populate others. That it's very peaceful here. I hear it's been very peaceful in most other places. I hear it's also been a bit delayed, like we had the other time, right? But generally it's been very peaceful. People are managing individual issues, in various. There's really no specific general cut across issue that I would say that is predominant, right? In some places they started at 8 o'clock. In some places that started at 9. In some places, there have been issues which they are resolving locally. We had a card reader issue here and it's been resolved. And personally, I'm given what I've seen, given what I hear, I think I'm okay with it. I can only just wish that you help us, encourage others that even if there are issues, let them just be a bit patient. This is the last time, right? It's the last completing part for them, and we really don't need to come back and repeat, all of these Herculean tactics. So we just exercise the pieces. So coincidentally, exactly 6 months ago, on the 9th of September, was when I picked the APC gubernatorial form for this contest. And today is also March of 9th. So in my view, I think there's some divinity there somewhere, right? We didn't know how it was going to turn out like this. So if you asked me the same question 6 months ago, I'll have still given you the same answer that I'm going to give you right now, which is that I think I've done the real job. I think we've gone everywhere that we need to go to in Lagos. We've reached out to all stakeholders. We've listened to everybody. We've heard all of their concerns. We've listened to all of the things they want us to do, right? And we've taken all that up. And so, given all of that, we imagine that, we're better prepared, to earn the confidence, and the vote that Lagosians will be giving us today. So, in a very simple answer, yes, I'm expecting victory. It's not a do or die affair. It's a process. In itself, it's about people. It's not about you. If in truth, what you stand for is to govern people, right? And the decision is left for them. Whatever comes out is what people have said they will do. And that's what I'm about.
It is still election day today, and we need to bring up a political analyst to help us dissect all the issues involved in the governorship and state assembly elections right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back. This is still Nigeria Decides 2019 on TV 360 Nigeria. And we have a political analyst in the studio, Nelson Ekujimi, to help us analyze all sides to this issue. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I was also an election observer.
Yes, that's true. So I'm aware you voted as well.
Yes, I did. You can see.
All right. So where did you vote and how was the situation at
I
the
voted
polling
at a polling unit in Agege local government. And the INEC personnel didn't arrive on time. They arrived in some polling stations, for example, in Sakatinumbu Memorial High School. They arrived there as at 8:06 a.m. Because as an observer, I was also coordinating some other observers on the field. In Amuwodofi, they didn't arrive early. In Apapa, same story I got from our observers, and I also monitored the press. We started voting at about 9 a.m. At about 9:30 a.m., I voted. I also observed that in this exercise, just like the previous one, if you get to the polling officer, in collecting your PVC to insert into the candidate, if your details are authenticated by the candidate, you are allowed to go and collect your ballot paper after the certification from the voters register. But where the candidate cannot authenticate your thumb, you are expected to thumb print on your column where your name is written on the voters register. Then you sign, as well as write your mobile phone number before you are given the ballot paper. So it was a seamless exercise for us, because unlike in the past, whereby if the candidate cannot read his finger, they'll use another. This time around, it was like when they make 2 or 3 tries.
Attempts, yes.
They just allow you, okay, candidate cannot authenticate, please let's do it manually.
All right. Okay, so obviously issues we saw in the presidential elections, issues with the failure of the smart card readers still seem to occur today, but it seems that INEC had better grips of how to handle it.
Definitely.
Right.
That was what transpired on the field from my personal observation, as well as from reports I got from other observers as well as the media.
Okay, that's great. I went out as well. I was on the field a few hours ago. I visited some polling units. Some polling units were very scanty. I could count with the palm of my hands how many people were there. So
yes.
Why do you think there's a lower voter turnout than we saw in the last 2 weeks Saturday?
Well, that has always been the tradition, that first election, people are more interested in presidential elections. When it comes to governorship and other elections, it's like the interest wins. But for some of us, I'm not in a hurry to judge, even though I have that suspicion within me that the voters' turnout is low. Because I got to some polling units, and on observing that there were no people on the queue, I went to the polling officer and I inquired. And lo and behold, I was told that, oh, people are coming out to vote. But why you can't see anybody in the queue is that the process is going on seamlessly. It's like the people are coming out in trickles. So it is at the end of the voting exercise that we're able to tally the figure. You recognize that in the last election held on February 23rd, we also raised the issue of voters turnout. Then later in the day, we got information that voters came out in quite sizable number. Even though according to INEC, the percentage was just about 35% thereabout. So this time around also, we want to believe that the people would have come out in their numbers gradually and voted. But one major reason that must have contributed to it is the late arrival of INEC at the polling stations, because our people have this attitude of, oh, have they started voting? Have they come? People don't want to be the first. They want others to go and perform the exercise and come and give them report. And also, some people have this attitude, oh, how many people are on the queue? As if you are the only one that has that right to vote, as though when you get to the polling unit, every other person should disappear and you alone should,
That's true. Let's touch a bit on voter education. It seems to be that people have no idea or don't have enough information as to the powers of the State House of Assembly. I mean, I think that's why they would rather come out for the presidential elections and then maybe relax when it comes to State House of Assembly. Do you think it's because they don't have the information of the powers that the State House of Assembly actually possesses?
Yes, I want to agree that the voter education, we have not done enough. even the political parties themselves want to ask, what sort of education have they given their members? Because ordinarily, you expect a political party member to be canvassing, people to even join his party, not to talk of the day of election, when you are expected to go out and vote for your party. So the question we must throw back at them, what role has each and every stakeholder played, in educating and galvanizing the people towards participation in election? And for me, looking at how we have performed in the Presidential National Assembly election and this election that we have just held today, and which might still be going on in some other places, is that we have not done well. We still have a long way to go. Even those that have been elected in the past, it is their performance that will endear people to, participating in elections. At times, people will say, oh, since I've been voting, what have I gained? What have they done for us? It tells you clearly that the people don't have knowledge that the essence of governance is not to satisfy an individual interest. It is to satisfy the interests of us all. And how does government satisfy our collective interests? It is by provision of basic amenities, provision of healthcare, provision of security, provision of infrastructure, provision of, maybe social welfare scheme for the aged and the vulnerable and the unemployed. So government, people that have been elected into public office must realize that the role they played in office also contributes to people's participation in elections. When people see the benefit, they'll be more interested. But when people are detached from people in governance, apathy will definitely crop in.
That's true. Let's touch a bit now on security. We saw how it turned out last 2 weeks. It wasn't funny for a lot of people who had come out with patriotism in their hearts to vote in a new set of leaders for the country. And then most of them ended up losing their lives, most with injuries and some other not very pleasant experiences. So for this time around, the IG promised that it wasn't going to be the same. Do you see... so far, it seems to be peaceful. Do you see this momentum sustained throughout the rest of the day?
I expect so. I cannot predict what will happen in the next minute. I'm a human being.
True.
I expect so. But so far, we have realized that the stakes are not as high as it was in the previous election. This time around, you saw everywhere generally has been peaceful, except in some pockets of burning of INEC office in Akwa Ibom and Ebonyi State, like we had. We don't have the report of what caused that fire incident and whatever. But generally, for the election so far, across the states, the election has been peaceful and orderly.
Okay. Remember that INEC had announced that they were going to organize supplementary elections in areas where violence has occurred. Did you perchance go visit Okota and some of those other constituencies where this happened to know if those supplementary elections did occur as they said it would? I
didn't visit those areas, but our observers on ground and from pictorials that I monitored via the television stations, I saw in some polling stations you had 3 boxes.
Okay.
House of Representatives, House of Assembly, Governorship. So it tells you clearly that those places where you have 3 boxes instead of 2 are places are polling stations where the runoff election were taking place.
Okay.
And from reports gathered, the electorate there have been performing their responsibility as prescribed by law. Because in those places you will recognize that the INEC officials were giving them 3 ballot papers, 3 sets of ballot papers. But in my polling unit where I voted, there was no runoff. So a lot of the electorate, all the electorate in my polling station, were given just 2 ballot papers, one for the House of Assembly and one for the governorship. But in areas where we have this runoff, they were given 3 ballot papers, and we have seen the pictorials on TV. Even though some of us have not been there, we have also received reports from our colleagues, because as an observer, we're working together with other observers.
All right, so thank you very much. That has been Nelson Ekujimi, electoral observer and political analyst, giving us a feel of how the electoral process has been going on today. So we'll take a break now, and when we return, we'll be crossing over to correspondents or journalists in Benue State to give us updates on the fire that raised the primary school that had electoral materials in it, right after this. You're welcome back, and we're talking elections, and voting was disrupted for some people in Benue State after a primary school containing all electoral materials for Umbalom Ward in Gwe East local government area was set ablaze. Suspected thugs had reportedly stormed the school premises, shooting into the air to scare residents away before setting the school ablaze. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission is yet to release an official statement concerning this incident. Now, joining us now to speak on this and lots more is Lizzie Chepik, a journalist who is live in Benue State. Hello, Chepik.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, let's know what's the situation on ground right there in Benue, starting with the voter turnout and how elections has been going on today.
Okay, as early as 6:30 a.m. this morning, when we went out, INEC officials were sighted in their different polling units, waiting for the voters to come out and cast their vote. But besides that, I think elections in Benue State are generally peaceful and calm. But there are some incidences of violence here and there. Like, for instance, in Balom community in Gwe West, electoral materials were set ablaze by suspected thugs. So the same thing happened in Boko local government and Taka local government as well. A few minutes ago, the resident electoral commissioner for Benue State briefed the media. He told us that the three local governments where these polling units, the affected polling units in these three local governments, elections will be rescheduled. So as we speak, that is the situation. But again, another incident of panic in Guma local government area where the governor comes from, the hometown of the Benue State, who is also a candidate in the election, precisely in Bajimba. In the wee hours of this morning, some suspected herdsmen, militia, attacked the community, leaving a father and a son dead. That is 2 people, and others injured. But this did not deter the voters. There was large turnout of voters in the community as of when we visited. By and large, the place, Benue State, it's peaceful and calm, but there's low turnout of voters as compared to the presidential elections that are held on the 23rd of February.
All right, Chepi, I'm very sure you've felt the pulse of the people in the state. How much do you think Autumn has an edge? I mean, considering this issue you just mentioned, headsmen attacks in the state, and considering other factors like unpaid salaries for a while now in Benue, how much chance do you think Autumn stands in this election?
Yes, that's non-payment of salaries is also playing a key role in this election. But again, the people are worried. You know, in Benue State, elections are zoned. Gubernatorial elections are zoned. So people are looking at, okay, right now, this is Zone B is supposed to have have the governor who is we have Otom, who is the current governor now, Zone. And if they don't allow him to finish tenure, that it's going to, there'll be a mix-up in the zoning formula. So the people, there's this horse trading here and there, which actually took place. I went out yesterday and we're trying to talk to the voters how they feel about the whole situation. Though there is hardship, there's lamentation everywhere, but there's also this issue of zoning formula, which might likely play out. So the people are saying, let's just go with this person, let him finish his tenure, and we know that we are done with this zone. So that is the situation over here. But besides that, the people are not really happy with the present or the current government.
All right. Apart from the issue of the headsmen attacks in Benue today and the burning of that school with election materials, how's the security situation in the state at this time?
No, as compared to the presidential election, there's heavy presence of security all over as compared to what happened 2 weeks ago, where there were just skeletal, you could see them in just few places. You just, today, if you move like a kilometer, you find either the military or the police checking vehicles and, of course, passerby. So there's heavy presence of security all over the places we have visited today. I think security is tight. Even the governor, when we interviewed him earlier, he commended the efforts of the security in calming the situation. And even the herdsmen militia that reportedly attacked his community this morning, he said as soon as he got wind of it, he called the commissioner of police and he stormed into action. So, to a large extent, there isn't much issues with security.
Right, so it seems all is calm in Benue, apart from these few issues you mentioned, the fire and the headsman attack. By and large, Benue is peaceful, and we're hoping to hear positive results, especially with the places where elections have been rescheduled. So we'll turn now to Kogi State, where it seems not everyone will be expressing their franchise today, as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has postponed the State House of Assembly elections across the Mopamoru local government area of Kogi State. The electoral officer of the local government, Opanachi Ojodele, at the INEC office in Mopa said that the election was postponed to Sunday, March 10, due to wrong ballot papers that were taken to the area. According to Ojadele, the ballot papers belonging to Akpa local government in Kogi East were taken to Mopamoru local government development. This was discovered in the early hours of Saturday. He also added that the new ballot papers for Mopamoru would arrive at the local government office later in the day from Abuja. So elections are holding across 29 states in Nigeria for the governorship and state house of assembly seats, and over 100 observers are monitoring the conduct of the polls. Joe Odomaki, human rights activist and election observer with the Women Arise group, says that she observed a lower turnout of voters than that of the February 23rd presidential elections, along with other hitches like failure of smart card readers.
Well, the process so far, when we started observing, we noticed the voter apathy, low turnout of voters. When we went to Ojodu Aziz, around Dikwabe, around Olaleke Taiwo, Ojodu Primary School, Balsafunwa Secondary School, Millennium School, Alausa, we found out that the adult staff were not in sight. We moved around 8 o'clock up till 9, and then it was around 9:30 that we started having some of the adult staff come. Initially, in that morning time, we also noticed that around area H, where you have polling units 16, 17, 18, 2019 that no card reader. People were just voting, manually. That happened up to the time that we left the place.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it has arrested one Abdul Karim Abdul Salam for sharing money to voters at Unit 7 in Kwara State College of Education in Ilorin. Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has cast his vote at a polling unit in Irepodo local government area of Kwara State. The minister was spotted in the queue as he waited for his turn to carry out his civic duty. Now, still in Kwara State, Senate leader Bukola Saraki has also expressed his franchise at a polling unit in Agbaji quarters in Ajikobi Ward, Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State. And so far, it's been a peaceful process in that state. Let's now cross over to our correspondent, Emeka Amako, who is live in Kwara. Thanks for joining us, Amako.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, how is the situation in Kwara? Tell us about voter turnout. Is it as we've been seeing in other states in Nigeria?
Yes, the voter turnout in Kwara State, Ilorin to be precise, where I am actually speaking from, it does fell into insignificance when compared to the turnout during the presidential elections. Right from early morning, just this morning, while some of the polling units I visited, it was quite clear that persons were not actually eager to cast their vote. Surprisingly, there was this young man I met, and I asked him, my friend, that's fine. I said, I guess you are here for the elections to exercise your franchise. The young man told me to my face, Oga, they just green light now. They go watch TV. I know they vote. Because if I do, it amounts to nothing. That explains the true position of voters turnout here in Ilorin, Kwara State.
So, from reports we're gathering from Kwara, it seems that voters have come out very early. Electoral observers, electoral materials, and of course, INEC officials were on ground early. But is that true from what you see on ground?
Yes, the truth about it is that quite early this morning, I visited several polling units to see and to have first-hand sight of what the true position is like. And take it from me that early, sensitive and insensitive materials from INEC were on ground in virtually all the polling units I visited before 7:30 a.m. this morning. Voters were on ground, although, like I did mention much earlier, just in inconsequential number of them, but the materials needed were on ground. Security operatives were equally stationed at various polling units, ready to ensure a smooth electoral process.
All right, so how about the security? How is the security situation there?
The security situation here in Kwara State has been okay. No issues, to the best of my knowledge. And the only issue I know that once sprung up was when an APC agent in one of the polling units raised an alarm. And a few of us journalists that accosted him trying to know what the situation was, the young man told us that the polling unit where he is, or the polling unit where he was actually stationed, that the APC agent there was involved in some malpractice. So we now alleged malpractice. We now asked him a little further, what actually played out? He said the PDP agent was telling some persons where to vote. And when he asked the PDP agent, why are you doing this? That the PDP agent now told him that what I am doing is because these people are elderly. They don't know what to do. And the truth about it is, he now said, when he now decided to make the PDP guy the agent to understand that this is a wrong thing to do. That was how he was molested, and he left. Not long after that, security operatives from the Department of State Services, DSS, they now came in, took the young man, the APC guy, to the very polling unit where this particular incident played out. So
all right, Emeka, sorry to cut you short there, but we're getting reports of vote buying in Kwara State. I mean, I just read that on the news. Somebody was arrested with money, intended to sway, the voters. So, all right, unfortunately, we lost Emeka there, reporting live from Kwara State. So, yes, you're still on to Nigeria Decides on TV 360 Nigeria. And, of course, as the news breaks, we would return to give you live updates from our newsroom. I am Anetta Felix. Bye for now.